Welcome, everybody, to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a dating and relationship coach and founder of Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and also of Single and Stilettos. And I am so excited because today we have as our special guest Cindy Olin, and she's a relationship strategist and coach at Create Your Own Luck and Love. And today we are talking about beware of these kind of relationships. And ladies, I cannot wait to hear what she's going to say. And I know you can't wait either. And she's going to tell you about two kinds of relationships that you need to be aware of. But before we jump into it, Cindy, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you and how you became a relationship strategist and coach.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Suzanne. And a little tiny background about me. I have been fascinated with men, relationships, understanding them forever. I was a high-end matchmaker for a long time, and I found and I studied under people that have been long before Suzanne and I in this field, and found that it was a true calling of mine. And in being a high-end matchmaker, while I loved that, I found the number one challenge was to help people understand the opposite sex and not sabotage their love life. So that's a little bit about me. And thank you again for inviting me.
I know, Cindy, and I love that you were a former matchmaker. We both have that in common. But so tell us, because I know you've seen a lot out there, we both have, but the two kinds of relationships that women need to be aware of. Can you tell us about the first one?
Yes, I can. It sounds very spooky, right? Anyways, so the first type of relationship to be aware of, I call him the 0 to 60 guy. So all of a sudden you meet, there's all this chemistry, you go from one date to spending every single day together. It's fast and furious. That's what I call it, the fast and furious relationship. Well, what is common with these types of relationships if you go along with it? And a lot of times, these types of men that go really quickly into relationship are inadvertently chemically attracted to women that are really wanting to feel loved. So they'll go really quick, and they will all of a sudden wake up, and it's usually between 6 weeks and 3 months, and they will literally put the brakes on. Like it's like, when you're driving down the freeway and all of a sudden you see the brake lights and you're like, holy cow, I don't want to rear end that person. And you stop the car really quick and all the stuff from the back flies up to the front. It's the same analogy in these types of relationships. So they all of a sudden stop. So they may disappear. They may stop calling you. They may tell you that they're not ready for a relationship. And a lot of it, the reason why they do this is because when it starts to become real and not fantasy for them anymore, because they're, in the first 6 weeks to 3 months, it's like they're in a drunken haze, so to speak. And they're really enjoying their time with you. It's not even about that, but it's not really based on reality. It's not built from a real foundation of partnership. So they will say, I'm not ready for this, and leap out of the relationship as quickly as they got in. So that's the first one.
That is so true, and I will testify to this. I can't tell you how many clients of mine that this has happened to, where it just went way too fast from the very beginning, and she just went along with it. And what I always tell my clients is it's up to you to control the pace of the relationship. It's not a race to the finish line. It's not. It's like slow and steady actually wins the race,
It absolutely does. I mean, I I share that in common with you. There's so many clients that have gone through the same thing. And I think we've all gone through something in our lives at one point or another that has mirrored this in some way, shape, or form. So, I understand. And I echo you, Suzanne. It's slow and steady does win the race. And I always tell my clients this, the name of the game is pace. You, as a woman, you always pace the timing of the relationship and how quickly it moves. And I think the number one factor around that is a lot of times women will be scared that he's going to go away if she slows down the pace. And if he does, he wasn't really meant to be there to begin with. And if he doesn't, we teach people how to treat us. So this is about setting healthy boundaries, and he gets to take time to get to know you, not get all of your time from the get-go. That takes time to develop.
Exactly.
So,
I love
yes.
that you use that as the first example, because we've both seen that a lot with our clients. So
Yeah.
what's the second type of relationship that women need to be aware of?
Well, the second type of relationship, and this one can be a little trickier. Okay, so this is kind of similar to the first type of relationship, but a little bit different. So there's the these words are thrown around a lot, but I'm going to say narcissistic, psychopathic individuals. So, and these are far more dangerous. The first guy, he's just obsessed with the idea of falling in love. Like, he's like, he might even not be a bad guy. He's just not fully aware. The second type, narcissistic people, there are different layers. There are different degrees of narcissism. Some narcissists are harmless, so to speak. However, they are allaboutme.com. And but it doesn't start off that way. So it starts off very similarly, where they romance you and they're like really amazing, and it's like sunshine, butterflies, awesome. And they may or may not move quickly. But the thing with narcissists and psychopaths are a little bit of a different one, and I'll get into that deeper, but more commonly narcissists, they're very charming, they're very alluring, and they will then, once they get you hooked, they're very smart in that sense. Like, they feel, and they will do all the work until they get you hooked. So even if you pace them, they can be very patient with the right woman. And because they can see that this woman, once she's hooked into him, he can then be like, let his real self open up, and she will continue to go back to, well, wait a second, where's the guy that was there the first 3 months? And she'll be living on that for maybe 6 months, a year, 10 years, 20 years, you never know. But what happens is they will subtly start to criticize you. They will, nothing is good enough. There's like a little form of keeping you in a box, so to speak, so that you're not, you're constantly questioning yourself. And what oftentimes happens with women is they will try to start proving themselves in the relationship. So they'll start giving more. than he is, and the balance of the relationship becomes off. The woman becomes unhappy. He becomes more powerful and power hungry, and it's not a good situation, clearly.
Well, and I'm a very visual person, and while you're describing this to me, this is the visual that I got is when you talked about the beginning stages of that type of relationship. Is you talked about him getting her hooked, right? And what I started to envision is it's almost like this drug, almost like he knows the exact things to say, to do, to get her hooked, and then she's all in. And then when he figures out that she's all in and she's hooked to this quote unquote drug, right? Then like I started to notice a shift in my visual in my mind. Is that how you envision it too?
Yes, it's like next thing you know, he starts inserting poison little by little by little. And, these type of men, typically there's different archetypes of them. They can be very successful and they're very much all about them, and it's, not that they don't have good qualities. It's they've utilized that narcissism to become successful, and it goes to an extreme, if that makes sense. But in more deeper degrees of narcissism, when there's a lot of control, it's like they're putting poison into you. It's like somebody on your shoulder, tapping your shoulder all the time, saying you're not enough, you're not good enough. Right. You're never going to amount to anything. You can't do this. What do you think you're doing?
Right.
And it's so be aware of that type of individual, because they're very insecure at the end of the day. So they are trying to keep you in that more controlled space as well.
Right. So let me ask you a question, because I always try to think how my audience is thinking right now based on what you said. And the question I wanted to ask you is, in either of these types of situations, can a relationship actually work out? Like in the first type of relationship that you described, like if she slowed down the pace, or if, like with the narcissistic man, can a relationship really work if she controls certain parts of it? Or is this like, it's never going to work with either of them?
Well, it's a really good question, and it's a commonly asked question. In the first situation, the answer is yes. It can work out. It does depend. If the man is really hooked on the love drug, so to speak, of feeling the high of, being in love and not really wanting to go deeper, then no, it won't. And he'll go away as soon as you start to pace it. So you'll figure that out. But if he's, if you slow it down the pace, because as a woman, we do actually control the pace of a relationship, and we always do throughout the trajectory of it. But at any rate, if he's there with you, then yes, it can absolutely work. Sometimes he needs a little bit of harnessing. It's like a horse that's wild, and give slow down. And when he gets to know the real you, he wants to continue to become closer to you. It's building a good foundation. Now, on the second one, it depends on what level of a narcissist they are, and if they have a desire to become self-aware and understanding, and narcissists can also be kind of lazy, frankly. So they want it their way, and they're not really willing to put the effort in to do it any way differently. So if it's an extreme narcissist, I mean, sure, any relationship can work. It's going to be hell. I mean, it's hell on your self-esteem. It's not good on your psyche. There's, I mean, different narcissists, I mean, they're very covert. They can live, and this goes more into the psychopath, but double lives, cheating, there's an integrity issue with them typically. And it depends on what your value system is. Now, there are people that have more healthy narcissism. And I know that sounds weird, but it's, you know, they have they put the oxygen mask on their face first. Mm-hmm. And they do take care of themselves. And they might be a little more self-focused, but there's someone that has a desire, like I said earlier, to open up to different possibilities, and they may need a little more directing. They're not coming from that place of hurt, negativity. It's more about, all about me.com. Then it comes to you, I'm on to you, So there are different layers to that. But
right.
The answer is yes and no. If you want it to, sure. A narcissist will be happy to stay, and they can be very codependent too.
That's so funny, because you would think that a narcissist wouldn't be codependent, right? So, and so what I'm hearing and what the ladies should take away from this is that it can work, but is that he has to be willing to work on his own stuff in either situation and become self-aware in either situation and be able to work with you on whatever's going on. So
Absolutely.
These have been some great tips. So Cindy, I know you have a free gift for the ladies, so can you tell them about it?
Absolutely. Yes. I have a love mastery manuscript that was written, and it's all about, understanding love and relationships, something that I love and geek out on. And there's an FAQ, commonly asked questions, understanding men, how they relate in relationships, and how you can easily connect with them. So this is complimentary for your tribe, as well as I understand everyone has their own unique situation when it comes to dating and relationship. And if you feel called to do so, I'm offering a complimentary 30-minute call for your tribe, Suzanne, to go over this and have a breakthrough in your love life. So thank you.
Awesome. So ladies, you can just click below the video to get Cindy's free gift. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can go to singleandstilettos.com and you can look for Cindy's interview and you can get her free gifts. So thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stilettos show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. And if you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. And if you would like to get our free ebook on why men disappear without a trace, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.